Hello, and welcome to EthFinance Record, your daily update for everything that's happening in Reddit's our EthFinance community's daily thread. So let's get into it. We have this post from Vacremon 2, who says, "Hello, fellow EthFinancers and EIPM Mavericks." So yesterday they posted a thread in the daily about the Ethereum subreddit improvement initiative, and they posted a Discord link. So they're saying that in this post, they're saying that contributing to the effort can be as simple as joining the Discord, and then they link to the Discord, voting on a couple of proposals, and they already have the participation of some EthFinance mods and an our Ethereum mod, which is great development. And they go on to say that the larger our Discord and the more activity we garner, the more credible our combined effort. Having a large portion of the our EthFinance user base as members of the Discord will show that the Ethereum community genuinely cares about our Ethereum sub and wants to see change happen. Who knows, there might be a poap for members of the Discord in the future. So this is a really great initiative that they're trying to take control of the our Ethereum subreddit, because it's a dumpster fire, and I really think that making those changes and trying to wrestle control back from the dysfunctional mod team that they have over there will lead to positive things going forward, and not least because there's 1.5 million subscribers to that. So thank you for that effort, Vacremon, and everyone else who's carrying on with that right now. I need to go and join that Discord too. Next we have Kairepaire, who says $100 million worth of ETH not minted due to the merge in just 6 days. Miners must have been really rolling in money. This supply shock will take a few weeks, months time, but it will definitely be visible, at least on the ratio to other coins. Risky to break something like this, but it might even be good enough to override the horrible macro. So this was posted 14 hours ago, before the horrible macro got even horribler. No, that's not a word. But it just goes to show how incredibly powerful the merge has been in terms of reducing issuance. I think the number that I looked at today was showing that issuance has gone down by 95% in total, when including the burn in that. So there's 95% fewer ETH in the world today than there would have been if the merge hadn't happened, which is truly remarkable. And Newtosh says about the miners rolling in money, quite the opposite. Our self-made narrative is that mining was cutthroat business and they had to sell 99% of their ETH for operating costs. So it depends on how you feel about like what their energy needs were and what. Some of the statistics that I saw about graphic cards profit basis was showing that, you know, they were getting about per each like 3090 card, I think they were making around $2.50 or $2.60 leading up to the merge per day, which might not sound like much, but I guess, you know, they were still quite profitable. It was the most profitable chain to mine on. Those miners have gone to other networks like ETH Classic or ETH POW or Raven, and they're even mining at a loss, I think, not even at profit. So it just shows the huge difference in profitability out there. And Monkeyhole says, I'm not convinced it'll be visible in just a few weeks or even a few months, but hey, I'd love to be wrong here. I get that the sub loves to say supply shock, but let's be realistic. The supply shock is extremely small and less than 1% of daily trading volume. So this is a frequent comment that people say about how the supply shock might not be a real thing. However, you know, because in comparison to the overall volume trading that happens for Ethereum, which is like, you know, hundreds of times higher, in the billions of dollars. However, what Monkeyhole is failing to realize is that a lot of that trading volume is bots trading back and forth and market makers, etc. However, the amount of real supply coming in, which is what stablecoin goes on to say, it says the margins are now, and large instances due to merge, only the miners were affected. The margins are now empty because there's no more new supply coming in. The previous flows requirement of 15 millions per day buy pressure to keep the price level are not going to change dramatically, but now instead we actually need 2 million a day in additional sell pressure just to stay level. That's like 17 million a daily swing in holders' favor. So the volume, like that in itself as well, but the point that I was trying to make was that just having the volume be reduced is not just the volume being so small is not really the key thing to focus on here, when most of the volume is just bots going back and forth, and the actual amount of real dollars is actually quite small. So that's definitely something. High Paces says the trading volume is a misleading statistic in my opinion, because so much of that is wash/bot trading. The supply issuance reduction is the real ETH that isn't coming onto market. So that was a really good comment there by High Paces. So thank you for that. Next we have a couple of posts from KBrot. One of them was about Putin speaking, saying hence the volatility spike, and then the West is trying to destroy Russia. This is what Putin said, not what KBrot think. The West is trying to destroy Russia. He'll defend Russia at any cost. They're officially mobilizing troops, aka performing a draft of Russian citizens, and accuse the West of blackmailing Russia with nuclear attack. So this is a situation that's getting worse. And, KBrot's comments were trying to show that the impact that's having on markets, and it can absolutely affect Western markets, though that's remained to be seen. And then there's some articles and links that they share, and just like it's a good context to some of the macro things that are happening. And wait, let me just see that. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had another one of KBrot's comments. Let me actually just go and find that because it's worth reading. So this one was coming up in regards to the I'm sorry, just a second. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't find it right now. Let me see if it's this one. Yeah, it's this one, I think. So KBrot was talking about the Fed's no, this is not the right one. I'm sorry. He was talking about how the Fed is being even more hawkish now than they thought they were going to be, and how that's having some pretty bad consequences on the outlook of the macro scale. So there's just bad macro compounding on top of bad macro right now. So actually, let me jump ahead to this comment right here, which is Common Sense says, since this daily thread is okay to vent and I need to vent, for fuck's sake, one of the most important and complex upgrades with such shitty timing, it's unbelievable. Say what you want, in the end it's always different and not as expected. Fucking fuck. Still not selling. LMAO. So, I think a lot of people today need to vent in this community and other communities. There's a lot of bearish sentiment that's coming out. A lot of people who are paying attention to the markets are seeing that there might be more bearishness ahead. Some people are taking that as a sign to say that we might have bottomed now, and how such hawkishness will be priced in. However, the fact of the matter is no one really knows, and all we can do is ride it out. So yeah, it's one of the reasons why I guess this sentiment was upvoted so much was because a lot of people shared that sentiment today. So I hope Common Sense is doing okay, and I hope you're all doing okay, and I hope no one is leveraged going into this time, because the volatility can wipe you out and it's not worth the risk. Okay, so Crypto Curious has had a post today about it says, hey all, we're doing a EIPanda Twitter space on September 21st. So that's already happened. It was 5 p.m. Eastern time. It was about 6 hours ago from when I'm recording this. And there was a link, and they said that they'll be hosting with 3 to 4 fellow lions and pandas, and should be recorded too in case you miss it. So this call happened, and it was really great to get that information, and it was definitely worth you going back and listening for that. I didn't see anyone give a summary of the call in the daily, so maybe that can come later, or maybe you'll just have to go listen to that. We have this post from SpontaneousDream who says, a bit unrelated here, ironic since I'm the a-hole telling people to stay on topic, but I plan to propose to my girlfriend tomorrow. I'm super excited but also nervous AF, even though I know she's going to say yes. So she has no idea about the ETH I hold and reasons. She's clueless about anything investing financial related. I don't need the wifey as much as I love her attempting to sway my decisions. The ETH is not enough that if I lost it all, it would ruin us. I would be pretty sad, but we wouldn't be screwed. For those of you married folks, how do you deal with your ETH and significant other? Do you tell them or no? So this post was really interesting, not in terms of like, because it's, it's just, shows the personality of the people who post in EthFinance. So Doubt Stars Are Fire says, you should read the post I made about making sure your wife knows what the crypto is. Also, you never know, she might be interested and you all could end up like me and not grease the bard. And then good luck and congrats. My wife finds crypto extremely intensely boring, so I don't talk to her about it. I tell her if our holdings reach life-changing money, but until then I just view it as my little hobby. Congrats, man, tell her. And then my wife knew about my bitcoins, which I didn't even have in my monopoly money, but she didn't know the extent of it. She was happy not knowing the details. One day I asked her, if I suddenly revealed to you we had X amount of money, what would X have to be before you were more upset than happy? Like, what is the amount that would make you feel like I was lying by omission simply by not making a big deal out of it? And X was almost right on the dot for what we had. So I told her. At the same time, she doesn't really want to hear the day-to-day dips and raises, so I don't keep her regularly updated. She trusts me and I handle all our finances, but I would absolutely not hide anything. So this is a really interesting point, because my wife knows that we invest in crypto, and she doesn't know exactly how much money we have, but she knows what the value of the portfolio is, and she knows, that I have staking nodes on Rocket Pool, and I've told her about how we can get access to that, which is contact Superfizz in times of need, and he agreed to let her contact him if anything happened to me. But I feel like you have to be honest with the ones that you love. If you have a partnership like that, it's really vital that you share such important things. At least let them know that you have it, if not how much or anything. Like, it's good to keep those channels of communication open and clear. Next we have this comment by Papazio, who says, Ryan Sean Adams had an EIPanda with a Bankless t-shirt in their latest episode. Dope. So I actually saw this when I was watching the recording with the live cast today, the State of the Nation. I think it was today or yesterday, and it was really cool that I noticed that as well. So I think it was yesterday's episode, yeah. And it was really cool that the pandas are getting out there, which is really cool. Common sense. Oh, so we already covered that story. Next we have TheMoondanceKid, who says, I have CNBC on in the background while I work, and they're showing the House Financial Service Committee hearing with all the major bank CEOs. Just wanted to take the opportunity to remind you that when the Republicans win back the House in November, the new chair of the committee will be the current highest ranking member of the minority party, Patrick McHenry of North Carolina, and that'll be a very, very good thing for crypto. The guy's 46 years old, sharp as a tack, and there's no bigger supporter or person with a better understanding of crypto, either in either House of Congress. I could see Gary Gensler undergoing an uncomfortable proctology exam at a hearing chaired by Henry. Off topic, but a glimmer of hope in the distance. So the Moondancekids post was really controversial, and it got locked. And H-Blast says, okay, this is weird, too far from crypto and too far into partisan silliness. There are a few comments towards the end I've left unlocked. Don't make me shut those down too. So I guess the line that people were kind of trying to figure out in their mind is, at what point does your crypto holdings value more to you than the state of the country, depending on your political beliefs, whether you're pro or anti-political party. Like, at what point does crypto outvalue that? And I guess for the MoondanceKid, they're saying that crypto is really important for them, right? But a lot of people were saying that it's not worth it, right? It's not it's not worth the country. Like Sept says here, silver lining to the continued destruction of democracy. And SpontaneousDream says, why would I support a party that does not want free and fair elections? And Monkey Hole says, that's great and all, but if it was actually as sharp as attack, he wouldn't be supporting the party that literally attempted a coup. So there was a lot of forceful response to this, and I think that the community, like, it's worth it for us to know who the politicians are and what their stances are. But I guess everybody has their own understanding of what point crypto is more important than the political landscape. So I'm not going to tell you where to draw those lines for yourself, but there are definitely interesting discussions happening and quite pointed discussions happening, which meant post got locked. So if you want to go back and read that, I'll put the links in the notes and you can check out the comments yourself. Next, we have this comment from Dorotheus, who said, Eric Wall with another tungsten bet proposal. Eric Wall says, ETH withdrawals will be enabled in 2023. Me, yes, it will happen. You know it won't happen. Any takers? Whose face shall I engrave on my 1.5-inch tungsten cube this time? Ethereans, if someone concern trolls you with lol lol lol, good luck getting your ETH back. When they enable withdrawals in 2040, send them this thread and ask them to put up or shut up. So this is a really nice post that Dorotheus shared from Twitter. It kind of combats some of the FUD that has been going around, and we've seen a lot of it, right? Like Bitcoiners have really come out of the woodwork these last few days and last week or so, and they're trying to grasp at straws for any FUD they can find against Ethereum. And it's really cool that people like Eric Wall are kind of telling these people like that are spreading baseless FUD that come take a bet, see what happens. If you want to put your money where your mouth is, then that's the place to go. And I think these kind of things are really the right thing to do with people who are spreading baseless FUD. So next we have this post by nixorokish, who says, I found this argument really silly. And then they posted a link to a screenshot who says, if you want to have voice in the Ethereum network, you need to stake 32 ETH, costs about $40,000 to $50,000. If you want to have voice in the Bitcoin network, you need to run your own node, costs about $200. One is controlled by the wealthy and the other by the people. So nixorokish goes on to say, the folks arguing about this are yelling at clouds. They argue about theoretical thresholds that more so pertain to attacks than everyday governance. Even ignoring the fact that you don't need a validator or any ether alter on the node, the reality is that people who influence everyday governance and have a voice are the people who do the research and put in the work. That's researchers, EIP authors, EIP editors, developers, team leaders, project managers, etc. These are the people who came from varied backgrounds and whose qualifications thus far have been they just came with passion and started working on it until they became invaluable. People are yelling for a seat at the table without wanting to do any work at all. Even if that were how we worked, you think that the difference between a barrier at 50k versus a barrier at 200k, 50k versus $200 means that we're more democratized. Think again, no matter what it costs, the wealthy can buy enough governance to make your vote irrelevant. That's lazy thinking. It's entitled. And it's the old paradigm. Get creative. We have quadratic voting now. We have smart contracts. We have people building Sybil resistance. If you want to tear down something beautiful that people are building just because you're bitter and angry that you don't have a piece of the pie, then you're exactly what the new paradigm is building away from. It's not being built to enrich you. It's being built to sustainably enrich everyone. So I think this comment is really great because like I was just saying a few minutes ago, like there's so much FUD coming out about, from the Bitcoiner camp and other cryptos. And it's really great that people are starting to find avenues against it. And one of the things that it's really clear to see as well is there's no voting that happens on chain with either Bitcoin or with Ethereum. There's no voting on chain. So regardless of whether you're running a validator node or just a blank node on Ethereum, or whether you're mining on Bitcoin or just running a node at home, it doesn't, you're not voting on anything, right? You're just adding to the security of the network by doing that for free. And this $200 thing is so disingenuous because you can run a Rocket Pool node using a Raspberry Pi that one of the developers is working on something called Proteus, and that will literally run an Ethereum node without a validator under 5 watts of electricity, and will cost maybe a little bit more than $200, but not much more than $200. It's completely disingenuous. But at a certain point, you kind of have to fight the FUD, as useless as it might seem at times, but it's a shame really that it's kind of the reality that we live in. And then Hani Abu says, I firmly believe they're fully aware of everything you just said, but just want to spread misinformation, which is exactly the point. They're speaking to their bag bias, and they can see that Bitcoin is not long for its dominance. And then Katadeyet says, it's such a brain dead argument because literally nobody can stake without, because literally anybody can stake with any amount of ETH through liquid staking. You don't need 32 ETH, you just need $1. And again, like, there's so many liquid staking platforms that you can use. And for example, Rocket Pool, you can stake with as little as 0.1 ETH. So that is some points there. And then the final post of the day is one we have from Interweaver, who says, time for one of my regular how much should ETH be worth based on PE ratios posts. This time I'm just going to calculate staked ETH price, because non-staked ETH is not a productive asset right now, not deflationary, and thus not worth anything from the perspective of P and E ratios. And then they go on to give a lot of data about price, supply, staked supply, average fees, burn, issuance, aka rewards, tips, and MEV. And conclusion that they go on to say is inflation is equal to and then they give a formula, is equal to 0.196% per year, and staking APY, and they give a formula, and it says is 9.56% APY. So then they explain that if you assume that Ethereum should behave like a tech stock with a P&E of 50, that implies equilibrium at 2% APY, ergo price should be 4.8x what it currently is, at around $6,000 per staked ETH. Obviously, all these numbers will shift around in the future. Feel free to plug in your own numbers or P&E and see what you get. Conclusion, post-merge staked ETH is back to being criminally undervalued. And a reminder, bargain basement prices like we're currently seeing are a blessing, because they let us grab ETH at P&E ratios way under where they should be. And if and when the markets eventually cop on and find a more appropriate equilibrium at the price, above price, then again, assuming none of the other numbers will change, though of course they will, you could effectively be getting 9.56 times 4.8 equals 46% APY on your original investment. Do what you want with this information. So I think this is a really nice reminder that, the Ethereum blockchain is the only blockchain that's actually generating value right now, and it's actually making money, right? And Ethereum sells block space, and its block space is valuable, so much so that people not realizing that shows it's criminally undervalued. Now, I've heard people make criticisms of P&E ratio, like based valuations of Ethereum. However, it does give you a good idea of what the value of the network is. So that's definitely something to think about going forward. And on that note, I will end this video and let you all know that I hope you all have a great rest of your day and a great day ahead of you. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.